Meeting of January 26th, 2021. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Members of the public that want to make comment, you can electronically submit the comments for consideration by the City Council, Successor Agency, Housing Authority, Finance Authority, Parking Authority, Joint Powers Authority by sending them to the City Clerk, Secretary at aphillips@cityofinglewood.org and the Deputy City Clerk at allen@cityofinglewood.org. By telephone, you can participate by dialing into 888-251-2949, or you can call 215-861-0694 by using this access code for January 26, 245-3970, and then hit the pound sign. Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Yes, Mayor. Quorum is present for the City Council, Successor Agency, and Housing Authority.
Okay. Anyone that wants to make a public comment on any item on today's agenda, including the public hearing, may do so at this time. Operator, are there any callers?
Your line is now unmuted. For those on the line, you may dial #2 to enter the verbal question queue.
Nice music, operator, but are there any callers on the line?
Yes, we do have a couple of callers. We'll go to the first one. Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Clarence Brown. I'm a member of Breath of Life 17 Church. And I would like to call the City Council for what they're about to consider for action on the board for the murder of Andrew Summerfield on the condemned mayor and city manager council for even considering. I think that it will help for his tragic death. Thank you for making this a priority, and we really encourage the police department that we really want in a long time thought to grow up and have a for this. And we just thank you again.
Okay.
And for the effort. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And again, this is open public comment for any item on the agenda, including HE1, the public hearing that we're about to conduct. Next caller, operator.
Moving on to the next caller. Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead. And just want to make sure your personal device isn't muted.
Operator, let's go into the next caller. Maybe they'll unmute later.
Sure. Moving on to the next caller. Your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Hello. I'm concerned about the leap. I'm hearing feedback.
We hear you just fine.
Because what you say and what you do as an administration has been very different when regarding benefit citizens. You've been cavalier about housing, and Inglewood's already very densely populated, 110,009 square miles on part of Santa Monica and size. Already parking, during COVID-19 shutdown. We've already did zoning know about as everything was closed down. LEAP allowed to reduce the parking requirements and additional units. And already we can see that in construction that they've been doing that. Briarwood retirees didn't sign up for the additional congestion, construction, noise, which will definitely be from entertainment center because there's noise back, and changing zoning for our homes. When we bought them, expecting certain things is an issue, and having people adding lots of housing need to be is a concern. We want to make sure we're not doing that. I understand there are other places that are have this type of zoning, but you guys that do zoning want to without our input. In the warrant, there's lots of questions regarding the payments. There's some things for 2019 that are paid. You construct the acronyms like AWA, the American Water, or whatever associations, people, I guess, information that you use so you could raise our water hikes. Some of us, myself, have not received the paperwork we were supposed to receive because you guys messed it up and you were told numerous times. You also did not respond to or type of public feedback. We also should not be having only 3 minutes to comment on all agenda items and also having to comment on a public hearing that should be separate. And you also have not, you're talking about safety and health issues, some of the safety and health, and each of you up there, Mayor Butts, Alex Padilla, and also Artie Fields, if you're there in the room, who've been in contact regarding safety and health measures. You've been ignoring every single time. So I'm not sure how we can really trust you to be responsible with additional money when you have taken care of the basics. And it's very critical. Regarding the domain, we were notified prior regarding Murphy's Bowl. You were notified prior regarding Murphy's Bowl LLC. Now you're using acronyms like IDE, which I'm not familiar with, and that's the Basketball Entertainment Center. So please identify things in lay terms, because otherwise it seems like just trying to think things through. And the mayor tried to ding me for something that was on the agenda for the holiday. It was on the
Thank
very
you, Ms.
clearly
Graff. Operator, are there any other
from the
callers?
agenda.
Operator, any other callers?
Oh, yes, well, there's an additional caller. Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Sherelle Arnold, and I'm calling in support of today's vote to have the city use $25,000 to add ward in the pursuit of those that are responsible for the murder of Andrew Summerfield. We appreciate the Moore Summerfield family, appreciate your diligence and keep this top priority, and want to express our gratitude and that we hope that this remains a priority moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Operator, any other callers?
2 additional callers.
Caller, go ahead.
Gil Matthew, District 4, Mayor and City Council. I'm concerned the way this council is operating and with Murphy Bowl and the things that you're doing, and you've done a lot since 2017 with this movement that you have. Now you're at the end of the road almost, and you're being contested for legality of it, and the residents are uninformed of all what you've been doing. You never came to the residents to want to know if they want the arena. Now you find property or you're rezoning property, and even to the point where the property owner is not cooperated with the Murphy Bowl. Now you want to exercise eminent domain on owners, which is not illegal, but you're too not knowing you're signing the contract. And I read the agreement that you signed with. Oh, now you can't do it. They're not obligated to do it. and you the eminent domain. And you've done so much, whether the uninformed, and you consult with the city attorney. You're conducting meetings out of order, and you already paid two constables, Dotson and Padilla. So that's 3 votes. The other 2 members are nullified. And it's not illegal either. They were $125 each. $125,000 each election. The elections are coming up, and we want to throw you 3 rascals out. You've been rascals ever since you got there. And the electoral bobblehead, I. You got 3 votes. But Mr. Morales and Ms. Falk, they nullified. That's for Ms. Falk. Be a voice for District. And you call, he has 1 vote. All he does that each one of you have 20% vote. No protest. Podium. No. I want the report. If you look at the reports, it's whoever is YP. Who the hell is YP signing the document? It makes no sense what they do. And I'm telling you, the RICO is listening.
Thank you so much, Mr. Matthew. Operator, go to the last caller.
Okay.
Caller. Operator, is there anyone on the line? Operator. Well, with that, we'll close public comment, and there will be another opportunity at the end of the meeting. Item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register.
Move allow payment.
Welcome to AT&T's teleconference service.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Yes, sir. Council members, successor agency members, and housing authority members Dotson. Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Falk. Aye. Mayor Chairman Butts.
Aye. HE1.
Yes, Mayor. The next scheduled matter is a hearing to consider adoption of resolutions of necessity authorizing and directing the city's attorney to prepare, commence, and file proceedings in eminent domain for the purpose of acquiring the subject properties and leasehold interests for the proposed IBEC project.
We gave the opportunity to receive public testimony, which we received. Is there a motion to adopt the resolutions of necessity?
Yes, there is. Mayor,
Second.
so move.
And seconded by Padilla, moved by Councilman Morales. City Clerk, could you call the roll?
Yes, Mayor, and for the record, I just want to state that we do have the affidavits on file and communications as well, Mayor.
You're right, 1 second. Madam Clerk, so we do it right, let's do it over.
Yes,
Why
sir.
don't you read it? You read HE1. So has the notice of the hearing been given at a time, form, and manners required by law, and do you have the affidavit on file?
Yes, Mayor, notice has been given and an affidavit is on file.
Have you received any communications on the matter?
Yes, Mayor, communications have been received.
Receive and file them.
Yes, sir.
And is there a staff report?
Yes, Mr. Christopher Jackson, Economic and Community Development Director, will give the staff report.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. This hearing is to first receive public testimony from property owners affected by this action. Secondly, to make required findings for such resolutions of necessity, commonly called RONs. And finally, to approve adoption of the RONs, authorizing and directing the city's attorneys to prepare, commence, and file proceedings in eminent domain for the purpose of acquiring the subject properties and leasehold interests for the proposed IBEC project. Accompanying me are Royce Jones, Esquire of Kane, Bowman, and Berkman, a special outside counsel here in the chambers, And via phone is Brenda Aguilar Guerrero, Esquire of Myers Navi, Special Outside Counsel and eminent domain expert, who can also respond to questions. The IBEC project goals, this project, as you know, represents a unique economic development opportunity that allows the city to transform vacant and undeveloped parcels into a productive, compatible land use and expand the city's presence as a major sports and entertainment center. The arena site includes an 18,000 fixed-seat arena suitable for NBA games with capacity to add additional 500 additional temporary seats, up to approximately 85,000 square foot team practice and athletic training facility, up to an approximately 71,000 square feet of LA Clippers team office space, up to approximately 25,000 square feet of sports medical clinic for team and potential general public use, an outdoor plaza adjacent to the arena with circulation and gathering space and landscaping along with an outdoor stage and basketball court, up to approximately 63,000 square feet of retail, food, beverage, and other uses adjacent to the plaza, parking facilities to support the uses, and other associated public improvements. This particular presentation shows you the sites as they're configured for the arena site, includes the west parking garage site, and they're outlined in a navy blue. The arena site itself, the well relocation, as well as the east transportation and hotel site. As many of you are aware, especially the council, as well as the public, there's been a 40-year history of planning efforts, and yet still this land lays 90% vacant. We have had unparalleled public access and environmental transparency. The city hired a third-party CEQA consultant, ESA, more than 3 years ago in December of 2017. We began our CEQA process in February of 2018. We held a public scoping meeting in March of 2018. The draft EIR was published in December of 2019, published for review and comment. The comment period was extended until late of March 2020, nearly twice as long as required by CEQA. All documents and materials in the CEQA record of proceedings were published on a dedicated city website pursuant to AB 987 requirements. We also had unparalleled public access and environmental transparency with regard to certifying the EIR in July of 2020 and adopting the Mitigation Monitoring and Reporting Program. City publishes detailed responses to public comments as part of the final EIR. No challenges to the final EIR were filed. The final EIR is generally presumed to comply with the provisions of CEQA, and staff has analyzed this issue and recommends to the council that none of the exceptions requiring preparation of the subsequent or supplemental EIR are present, and therefore the final EIR will serve as a CEQA clearance for the city council's adoption of the RONS, or resolution of necessity. The governor's certification of Inglewood Sports and Entertainment Project pursuant to AB 987, Governor Newsom certified the IBEC project, and the Joint Legislative Budget Committee concurred with the IBEC project that it would reduce vehicle trips by 15%. Would result in no net additional greenhouse gas emissions. It would create high-wage, highly skilled jobs that pay prevailing and living wages. It employ a skilled and trained workforce, and it result in a minimum of $100 million investment in the city of Inglewood and the surrounding region. As it relates to the RONS, or Resolution of Necessities, the RONS must be adopted prior to the commencement of any eminent domain action. All 4 of the findings must be made for each RON being adopted. Number 1, the public interest and necessity require the project. Number 2, the project is planned or located in a manner that will be most compatible with the greatest public good and the least private injury. Number 3, the property sought to be condemned is necessary for the project. And number 4, the offer of just compensation has been made to the property owner. I would note that the amount of just compensation is not an issue for determination at this hearing. As it relates to statutory statutory and charter authority. That is detailed in the staff report that was provided and is public. But I would note that the city has the authority and power as laid out in Article 3, Section 4, paragraphs 7, 13, and 14 of the Inglewood City Charter. First finding, and I'll try and quickly go through these findings just so that we are clear on what our position is on this matter. First finding is that the public interest and necessity require the proposed project. Well, we're talking about construction of a state-of-the-art multi-purpose sports and entertainment center, number one. Number two, it's developing the arena site. Number three, we're promoting the city of Inglewood as a premier regional sports and entertainment center. Number four, there's $100 million, $100 million community benefit package. Number five, the IBEC project would be built with no public funding. When we summarize the benefits included in the $100 million community benefits package, as you're aware, but we bring it up so that the public is also aware of the extraordinary opportunity that the city has. We're talking about creation of local jobs and workforce equity, commitments to affordable housing and renter support, first-time home buyer program, rehabilitation of the main library, support of city youth and education, support of city seniors, 1,000 tree planting program, community engagement and collaboration, as well as access to NBA games for local nonprofit organizations.
Mr. Jackson, real quick, if you could stay on that one slide. And Mayor, I recall reading somewhere where there might have been a mistypo in regards to the rehabilitation of Morningside Library versus Main. I see here it says Main, and I just want to clarify.
And make it clear, it's the main library.
Yeah, the main library.
Not
Thank
the
you.
one on
Thank you.
84th or 85th.
Correct.
It's not the one on 85th.
Correct. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Jackson.
Thank you.
Thank you for affirming that.
As it relates to public use, acquisition of the subject properties and leasehold interests is for public use. Number one, the project provides the public with access to amusement, enjoyment, and recreation in the form of spectator sports, including basketball, entertainment, and other civic events and activities. Number two, the California courts have recognized sport arenas and stadiums as public uses for 100 years. The citations are included in the presentation. Number three, the transfer of the subject properties to Murphy's Bowl LLC will include clear and enforceable provisions that preserve the public use of the parcels into perpetuity. Condemnation benefits to the city. We keep the project on schedule and ensure that $100 million of public benefits. We achieve public use at no cost to the city. The deposit of compensation sets a date for the determination of fair market value. It requires a response from the property owner, and finally, the jury determines the amount of the compensation. Shouldn't have said finally, but also, the IBEC project will create more than 7,000 full and part-time construction jobs, create up to 1,500 permanent full and part-time jobs upon project opening, enact local hiring goals to help fill 30% of the construction jobs and 35% of arena operational jobs with local area residents, generate an estimated estimated $260 million in economic activity for the city, generate an estimated $100 million in tax revenues in the first 15 years of operation. And this financial resource will support vital city services, including parks, libraries, police, and fire stations. I don't know what it is with me and this thing. It's extra sensitive today.
It likes you.
And I have my hand down here, too. It's not even on the button. So thanks, Thomas, for the waving. Okay. Okay, finding number two. Project is planned or located to be most compatible with greatest public good and least private injury. Of the 25 acres of the project site, all but 6 of the 41 parcels that make up the project site are currently vacant or undeveloped. All but 10 of the 41 parcels within the project site are owned by the city, or previously owned by the successor agency of the former Inglewood Redevelopment Agency. The city has worked for 40 years to project alternative and environmental impacts. Yeah, when they did it on timing. That's the problem. All right, finding number 3. Here we go. Finding number 3, each subject and leasehold property is needed for the project. Parcels located inside the arena footprint. All of the subject properties are contained in the staff report and presented below. These are all 10 properties. Okay. Each subject property is needed for the project. Of one particular specificity is the arena entrance in the Public Security Plaza parcel. This particular property is located at 10004 South Prairie Avenue. And it's owned by Salvin Investments, LLC, and it's used for the fast food Church's Chicken. The property is located adjacent to the arena and outdoor plaza within the arena site and is needed for ancillary uses related to the arena. City analyzed and rejected a simplified plaza plan that would eliminate the ancillary retail uses because of the plaza and ancillary uses, to enhance the security and safety of the IBEC project, to enhance the attractiveness of the IBEC project, to preserve the recreational uses of the IBEC project, and to reduce peak travel. Finding number 4, an offer of just compensation has been made to each property owner. As laid out in this presentation, the appraisal completed between October 13, 2020 and November 23, 2020. Offers were made between November 25th, 2020 and December 9th, 2020. Going back. Good faith negotiations began on November 25th, 2020 and are ongoing. The notice of hearings were mailed to all of the subject property owners on January 6, 2021 and January 7, 2021 and signed by our city manager. Eminent domain process. The city, as part of this process, City Council approves the RONs, the resolution of necessities. The attorney files a complaint to acquire the property and obtain possession. The case can settle informally or through mediation. If no settlement, a jury will determine fair market value of the subject property or properties. Okay, owners are protected by state and federal law. The city will deposit its appraisal amount, which the owner can withdraw. Owners can present a claim for greater compensation than offered. Jury determines the amount of compensation. All right, so as we come to a close, staff requests City Council to adopt the RON for each of the proposed acquisitions by making the following findings and determinations for each of the subject properties and leasehold interests. Number 1, as previously stated, the public interest and necessity require the project. Number 2, the project is planned and located in such a manner to be compatible with the greatest public good and least private injury. Number 3, the property sought to be condemned is necessary for the project. And finally, an offer of just compensation has been made to the property owner. Staff recommends that the City Council receive public testimony from the property owners, conduct this hearing on the resolution of necessity to make the required findings, and then finally to adopt the attached resolution of necessity authorizing and directing the city's attorneys to prepare, commence, and file proceedings in eminent domain for the purpose of acquiring the subject properties and leasehold interests in the proposed IBEC project. That concludes staff's presentation. Staff is available for any questions that you may have.
Before you do that, we're going to give the public another chance to comment in case anybody didn't get a chance earlier. So we're opening up public comment for the public hearing again. Is there anyone who wants to comment? Operator?
Yes, we do have a few. We'll go to the first caller. Please go ahead.
Hello. Good afternoon. My name is Shamari Davis. I am a member of Breath of Life Church, and I'm here to support and hopefully that you support the $25,000 reward set by Mayor Butts, and hopefully the City Council pushes it through. My kid grew up.
Sir, Sir,
Andrew Summerfield, and he's a wonderful, wonderful young man. We are all heartbroken that he has left this earth too early. So we urge you not only to set through, but we urge you also to investigate and bring his killers to justice. Please consider this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Could you go through the first part of your comment again, sir? I interrupted you. Go ahead. Okay, operator, next caller.
Sure. On to the next caller. Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Hi, this is Jackie Pascal. I am calling in support as well of the proposed award for the murder of Andrew Summerfield that took place at Darby Park on January 5th, and to urgently move the investigation become top priority for the city of Inglewood. I, too, am a member of Breath of Life Church, and am in support of this measure. Thank you.
Okay, operator, next caller.
Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
This is regarding public comment regarding eminent domain. First of all, it's difficult for us to hear you guys, and it's difficult for you to hear us, and we can't hear each other. Now, we heard the clerk over-talking the attorney regarding 10004 South Prairie Avenue. They were not disconnected. We have not gotten unparalleled public access to information for this or anything. As when I request information about things, it's not given to me. Nobody seems to know the answers. And when I've asked about it, I've been told at least 5 times by people in administration, what, do you want us to tell 110,000 people about this? And I say, yes, because we're paying for it. And I am just pushed off. So no, we have not gotten unparalleled public access to the information regarding anything about this project. In addition, I'm hoping that it's a typo that you're saying the city is only going to be getting $100 of tax revenue, which was in the written part of it. It seems very unfair the way these things are going because we're not informed, we're not getting proper information, and we're not, you guys just force things through without letting the public actually get the information that we need, without actually responding to us, and without actually making sure that we're fully apprised of what's going on and that we can actually come to the meetings about things like this. There is a problem with these stadiums and the entertainment complex, or whatever you want to call it, and noise and the construction debris, and also the parking, and also the congestion for the city. These things have not been discussed with the citizens who are experiencing it on a daily basis and who live in those areas. These are part of the problems. If you guys would be actually the public service going to be responsive to the citizens, it would be so helpful, especially since our money is going into the coffer to pay for your salary, and you are supposed to be working on our behalf. A stadium and everything else is lovely, but not at the expense of what is happening with all the different attorneys that have to be paid. We don't know why and how these people are being paid. We're not giving real names, IBEC. That you have to go try to figure out what that is and look it up in a variety of different places. No, you know what it is, you know what it's called, you know what this whole thing is about. Make it plain and easy and simple, and actually reach out to the citizens. Send things to their home, particularly since we're homebound during COVID-19. But that doesn't happen.
Thank you, operator. Next caller.
Sure. Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. This is Neil Brower again with Jeffrey Mangels, Butler & Mitchell, representing Sabine Investments. And my testimony is regarding 10,004 South Prairie Avenue. Wanted to briefly discuss the resolution of necessity and note that the resolutions of necessity for each of the projects or for each of the properties at issue are exactly the same. There's no individualized determination regarding the relationship of each property to the project itself, and of the necessity for each parcel to be taken with to service the project itself and for what specific purpose. This is particularly problematic with respect to my client's property, because it's already devoted to a public use. It's a restaurant that already serves the public, provides revenues to the city, and does so at a significantly lower cost than admission to a new Clippers stadium. The same problem holds for the legality of the transfer itself. And as a general matter, although there are a number of references to an environmental impact report into CEQA, CEQA itself doesn't make any individual determination regarding the appropriateness of a particular property for a particular purpose, and it doesn't in itself justify a taking. CEQA serves the narrow purpose of providing information regarding the environmental effects of a project, the physical effects of the project, to enable balanced decision-making. It does not facilitate takings, and it does not provide findings to legalize them or permit them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Operator, are there any other callers?
There are. On to the next caller. Your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Hello.
Hola.
Mi nombre es Ana.
¿Puede seguir,
Hola.
señora?
Soy dueña del negocio de Salvador. Tengo 18 años de negocio acá en el 1611 Drive.
Ma'am, you'll have to speak a little louder.
Señora, no la oímos. ¿Puede hablar
Ok,
un poco
muy
más
buenas
alto,
tardes.
por favor?
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Edna Cabrera. Soy dueña del negocio Edna Dollar Store del 10611 Drive Avenida en la ciudad de Inglewood. Estoy hablando sobre el proyecto que traer pues nuevamente a la ciudad de Inglewood para los dueños de negocios. Es importante que las personas visiten en el trabajo de nuestra ciudad, porque eso nos da la oportunidad de traer nuevos clientes para nuestros negocios. Por favor, voten para esta acción y que se la construyan en el área, en la arena. Gracias.
Gracias.
Carmen.
Señora, para aclarar, usted está en favor del proyecto.
Sí, estoy a favor de eso, que
Gracias.
puedan este proyecto, lo hagan.
I just
Sí.
wanted to clarify that
Gracias.
she is speaking in favor of the project, and it can be clarified once the minutes are translated. We can have that done.
All right. Operator, next caller.
Sure. Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Eddie Cruz, and I am calling on behalf of the eminent domain and the proposed project that is going to be built around Century and Prairie. What y'all are about to do is extremely violent to the community and to the people and to the constituents of Inglewood, California. Eminent domain was implemented for governments to acquire public land for public use, not acquired for people to get private ownership or past public use. We're not going to own the Clipper Stadium. The people of Inglewood aren't going to be partial owners of the Clipper Stadium. You are all saying that this is going to bring jobs to our communities. It's just a form of bribing people to accept this stadium that is going to be implemented into our community. If you want more productive use of that vacant land, of this property that isn't being used, there are many different ways that it could be used to benefit the community. It could be used for community gardens. It can be used for leisure, to create places for leisure. It could be places to create recreational space for young teenagers to reduce crime in Inglewood. Y'all are saying that y'all want to combat crime, but these are ways that can happen to dissuade you from committing crimes, from joining gangs, is by creating these spaces for young teenagers to come and enjoy some time. But instead, y'all are serving some billion-dollar corporation that seems to have a foothold on y'all. I highly encourage y'all to reconsider what y'all are about to do. It's extremely violent to the community, and it is not fair.
Operator, next caller.
Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Hello, members of the. My name is Juan Vega. I am a business owner with 1050 South Avenue. In the Inglewood Basketball Payment Center, the general opportunity to explore, and it's mostly vacant for 20 plus years. Inglewood residents this town as right for something here. Or no job. This project will transform undeveloped land into a source of the general public, providing a source of community pride, economic development, and public opportunity to attend world-class sporting, cultural, and education events in the city. I ask the city to move forward with the action. We need this. Thank you.
Thank you. Operator, next caller.
Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Hi, this is Brian Pascal. I am the Breathitt Church, and I am calling to ask you guys to support the proposed reward for the Summerfield murder case and to urgently move the investigation as top priority. Thank you.
Thank you. Operator, next caller.
Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, Mayor Button City Council. I am a former long-term resident of 18 years, calling about the council's decision to enact a vote on whether or not to invoke eminent domain on the properties located on the intersections of Prairie and Century. It is my understanding that under the Surplus Land Act, also known as Assembly Bill 1486, that existing law requires that a local agency request send a written offer to sell or lease surplus land
Sir,
to a housing.
Sir, that's already been litigated, but go ahead.
Please speaking, please. Thank you. Where was I? To send a written offer to sell or lease surplus land for the purpose of developing property located within an infill opportunity zone designated as provided to, among others, a community redevelopment agency, which I'm sure you know in layman's terms means that the property in question must be made available to low-income housing developers on top of, if not before, a quote-unquote community development agency, also known as Clippers Arena SoFi Stadium. I say this because while you push matters such as these with tremendous turpitude, matters like the Inez and Sonia Alvarez campaign received little more than an apathetic response. I urge you to reconsider approving this $100 million quote-unquote community benefits package that does nothing to ensure the long-term residents of this city remain. And more importantly, I demand a level of transparency / accountability from this council and any that come after you, because y'all know elections are coming up, improve. Thank you.
Thank you. Operator, are there any other callers?
There are. Moving to the next. Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Buenas tardes al señor alcalde, a los miembros del concilio y a todos los allí reunidos. Mi nombre es Judy Castellanos y soy dueña de mi negocio desde hace 31 años, localizado en la 10622 Sur Prairie Avenida, que está muy cerca del área del proyecto. También soy dueña de una propiedad en la 112 Street y quisiera que la ciudad considerara el uso para el proyecto del estadio, ya que este proyecto promoverá la estabilidad económica y prosperidad en general de la comunidad. Crearía 7,000 empleos de construcción y 1,500 trabajos permanentes que ayudarían al desempleo. El área donde se haría el proyecto esta tierra ha estado vacía desde hace más de 20 años y ahora se ocuparía para algo positivo. También traería más personas a la ciudad que pudieran ayudar a nuestros negocios pequeños. Por favor, voten a esta acción a favor de nuestra ciudad para que se construya el estadio, que además embellecerá y ayudará a la comunidad del área. Gracias.
Small business owner.
Operator, next caller.
Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Am I being heard?
You're being heard. This is the public hearing, Gil.
There's public hearing, and also Mayor Butts.
No, it's not also, it's the public hearing about the report, Gil.
Okay, the report. Why hasn't the residents have access to the report? It's not on the internet. We don't receive anything. We have no newspaper. We have no ways of knowing. We don't have views of Inglewood anymore. So how do you want residents to become
Gil, hold on a
involved?
second. Mr. Jackson, was this posted on our website?
Yes, it was. It's posted and is accessible on the website.
How long's it been there?
It has been posted since Friday, last Friday.
Okay. Gil has been posted on the website since Friday.
Yeah, most people do not have computers. See, this is Inglewood. And most people are not as wealthy as you think they are. And when we have no access to media, we have no daily newspaper.
Actually, we did do publications in Inglewood Today, the Sentinel, and the Times.
And that's what, once a week. And Inglewood Today has no way of reaching residents. There is no delivery. And you're talking about once a week papers, and they have no access to residents. So, you know, you compare things, maybe you're taking a lot for granted. But Inglewood is a desert as far as media and newspapers, and you could put something in, at least in the utility bills. But what I'm trying to explain to you, there would not be as much opposition as you have if people are informed. And then why hold us at 2 o'clock? People are working. And you have an ordinance, but you say it would be at 7 p.m. And you don't respect that. So I'm not against the arena. I'm against the process.
I see.
And this is what people are saying. We're not informed. How are you going to make a decision on something where you know nothing about? That's all.
Okay.
As far as sports, you know, I love sports. But at the same time, we got to have
Okay, Gil, we're going to have to end this for right now. We're gonna have to let this go.
Yeah, we'll end it. We need 9,000 units
next caller.
of replacement housing.
Operator.
Yep.
Next caller.
Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Hi, yeah, I was calling in regards to the eminent domain and the project, the Clippers Arena. I want to start off by bringing up the lack of transparency with this project. So back in 2017, right, when this project was first introduced as Murphy's Bowl, right, not a lot of people in the community knew what that was, and not enough notice was given about not enough notice was given for folks to come through and give feedback. And I mean, you know, it sounds great on the surface, right, like the project and the community benefit. But my thing is, and a lot of, right, with the issue with that a lot of people have, is, like I said, lack of transparency and the lack of opportunities for folks, for the public to come and give input, just based off of this call, right, or this today's meeting. There's a couple of folks in favor, you know, other folks opposed. I'm one of those people that are opposed. This is such a big project, such a big decision that's going to impact so many people, and it's just so frustrating to see this basically being swept under us, being pushed through without our and you know, we already have a stadium. In my opinion, another stadium is going to be too much, and that space could be used, as the previous caller mentioned, it could be used for so many other things that would be beneficial to the community. And yeah, I just wanted to speak on that.
Thank you. I just wanted to tell you, caller, that this was heard not once, but twice. And we had hundreds of people that came to speak about it. So to say that there was not notice is a bit misguided. Operator, next caller.
Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Yes, how's it going? Yeah, my concern is not about the stadium getting built. My concern is the leadership. I think the leadership that we have right now, we can't trust. I think the only person we can trust is probably the new city council, the clerk, and Mr. Jackson right there. But I guarantee it, within 2 years, Mayor Butts is going to flip the script, and the other two city councils that sit on the left and right is going to be gone. Then they're going to flip it into another situation due to all the corruption that they're going to make happen before the arena is built. So, but things can change now. If y'all really care about the community, I care about the businesses and people to feel safe, we can get a new chief, get a new mayor, and get a new city council, or y'all can just change how y'all do stuff and be honest. We looking at y'all on video. There's a lot of stuff that y'all not telling us. So why don't y'all just be honest? If y'all want to get famous off of this, get an entertainment job. Don't just sit up there and laugh at people when they call in, because then we're going to look at y'all as a joke. Because bottom line, these citizens are going to be here before the arena and after the arena. What are y'all going to do when y'all out of the seat? Are y'all still going to come back and help, or y'all going to move on to another politician's seat? Just be honest, Mayor Butts. Go get a job at a circus. Don't just sit up here and laugh at people. Because sometimes we actually just care about this city. And that's what I want to say. But cut the games out, Mayor Butts. You look very unprofessional up there. How you sitting and how both of y'all on your cell phones, how you paying attention or taking notes on the call. Like I said, get a new city council, get a new chief of police.
Curtis, you're going to have to get back to the item. You could do this in your last minute. So is that all you have on the public hearing?
Yes, Mayor Butts.
All right. Thank you very much. Operator, next caller.
No further callers in the queue.
Okay. With that, we'll take council comments. Are there any council comments? Councilman Padilla.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. First off, I want to thank Mr. Jackson, his staff, and the city attorney's office, and all their workers, Royce, everybody involved, in a very well-written staff report. It really clarified the legalities involved with eminent domain and past practice, and you guys gave us reference of other case law that has been used so that we could research that on our own as well, to make sure we were adhering to what the intent was by the case law, and also by when Assembly Bill was passed. And folks that are out there know that this has been an item that's been discussed and so many times, and by other government agencies as well. It's been vetted. I know that, I get surprised sometimes, and I get it, because some folks, they're only looking at their spectrum of their little circle of their world, and I understand that. But when we sit up here on the dais, we're looking at the future of our city, the growth, and how we expand. And so we have to make decisions that are based on not what's right for us. No one cares about that. I mean, when one of the last gentlemen talked about that, you just sit there and shake your head, because we're not going anywhere. Even after I get off this council, I'm gonna live in Inglewood, where I've lived the past 35 years. I'm not going anywhere, and I don't think my colleagues are, or anybody else is. We're here to make decisions on what's best for the city of Inglewood, the residents, the community partners, the business owners. One person said that this is a violent act for the community. People use these words freely. I shake my head. It's unfortunate. that people would think, that way when you, and he prefaced it with the, talking about youth and how we're not doing anything for our youth. We have done so much for our young youth in this community, not only on this project, but the other projects that we've worked with. And Mayor, I'm just gonna go on for one more minute or so.
I'm loving every minute of it.
You
Go
know,
ahead.
and you look at the youth benefit package. Obviously this person and some of these folks didn't read this report. It's been on the website and it's still there. Go read it since Friday. If you want to take the time to educate yourself, then educate yourselves. Don't get on the phone and make these, comments that make no sense. Don't do that. We are up here, and you should too, looking out for the best interest of the city of Inglewood. What we're doing for our kids, what this involves with scholarships for our kids to go on to college, right? To help our kids in the Inglewood Unified School District, to improve the library. There's so many things that this, you look at the community benefits, tremendous. So please, do yourself a favor. Read the staff report. Educate yourselves. And then make a wise decision, because that's what we do. We educate ourselves, we read these staff reports, we do our own homework, and we make a wise decision based on what is the best thing for the city of Inglewood. Sorry to get on my soapbox, but sometimes you just have to do it. So that's it. Thank you, Mayor.
He will yield the rest of his time.
Well, I was just gonna say some of the same, Mayor, might as well balance you for the right and left.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Mayor, could I?
You absolutely can, but Eloy got you first. So.
I raised my hand first.
Yeah,
George.
exactly.
So I just wanted to give some more of the same, but I do want to clarify a couple things. Usually when we hear the speakers here, the official ones at the hearings, it's nice to pay attention to which ones are neighboring property owners and which ones we don't know if they are or not, which ones belong to a group. There are a variety of different kinds of speakers, a variety of different kinds of intentions. But when you hear a property owner that lives next door to the potential project area, and there's a number of them, and they support it because they know about the positive impact not only to their community, but of a property that they've owned for more than 20 years, you start to really pay attention to what really matters and who it matters to. So those are things that are very evident. Now, I can tell you that there is an official process that we're in right now. The official process is what we're going through. We have our hearings. You saw that staff pointed out how the documents were released, how we had certain other places where people could advise us of their comments. You saw that. That's the official process. The fact that we belong to this community allows us a sort of unofficial process, a part where we listen to our neighbors, we listen to the community, we get to drive around and see what kind of impacts are there. That's why we are up here, because of our experience here as Inglewood residents, many of us for many years. Now, I want to point that out because this particular project has had the benefit of being dragged through a variety of different comments, a variety of different approaches by different groups, challenged in a variety of different ways, and here we are today. Here we are today being able to analyze each and every step that this particular project has gone through. And still, we understand that it really does come down to one question. Is this project good for the city of Inglewood? And it is a resounding yes. There are a variety of things that we can point to that will be kind of collateral, come out of the specific project. Alex mentioned some. But the truth of the matter is that when you make a solid, positive development, it starts with construction and the positive impacts go on for years. This is a well thought out project. It has been challenged a variety of different times. And the reason we're here today is because it's made it through each and every one of them. So I look forward to supporting it, and Mayor, that's all I got. Thank you.
Councilman Dodson.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. my little bit of say got covered by Eloy, because this has been going on.
That's
for a long
always
time.
dangerous, buddy. It's dangerous when Eloy talks.
I'm sorry?
That's dangerous when Eloy
You got a
talks.
problem with him?
You know.
Yeah, I understand some of the people did not read the staff report. You understand that by what they say. This project has been going on for quite some time. And I don't want to repeat everything that was said before, but that's the one thing that everybody needs to understand, is that this is not something we just dropped out of the sky and decided to do this. This went through courts several times. We have lawyers arguing back and forth many times. So, and when you say that we're going, so where am I gonna go? I live in a house right here in Inglewood, pretty soon it'll be worth $1 million. Where am I gonna go? I love this city, have been here for years. My family was raised here. I'm not going nowhere. And I'm sure the Methodist DS feels the same way. Basically, what I hear on the telephone is some of the same groups who came here and fought against it when we were first trying to put this together. So I'm satisfied with what we've done. I think with staff and our attorneys and stuff, everything has come out perfect. And the city will really be the one that benefits from it, all the way down the line. So thank you, Mayor, that's all I got.
All right, Councilwoman Falk, do you want to take a chance at anything? It's up to you.
I will. I just want to agree with all of my colleagues here, and of course, Mayor Butts. I've been in the city for over 15 years. I love Inglewood. That's the reason why I ran for city council. And to be a new city council member, I realized how important this position is. And at the end of the day, it's like all the other council members said, we have the best interests of Inglewood, the residents of Inglewood at heart. And when I read through the staff report, which I agree, please take time, everybody, to read through the staff report. There are significant benefits for the residents, for our Inglewood Unified School District kids who we all care about and love, and for our libraries. There's just so many benefits here that there's no way that I could not wholeheartedly want to support this effort. So, Mayor and City Council member, I agree with you that this is definitely something that's really good for the city, and I wholeheartedly support it.
Okay, so real quick, let's talk about process. This was first heard around April of 2017, something like that. And then someone challenged and said it wasn't properly noticed because the wording on the agenda would not let someone understand what was being discussed. So we re-agendized it for June of 2017. In each of those hearings, we had close to 100 people. And we were sued after that under the Surplus Land Act by the Social Justice Learning Center as a plaintiff, financed by a company that did not want to see this arena built. And we won that at summary judgment. So this thing about due process is totally off base. Now, let's talk about benefits. And let's talk about that word, violence. Nobody was complaining about violence when we had 50 less police officers in the police department when I came here. And we were averaging twice the murders that we are averaging right now per year. Nobody complained when there was no money to refurbish the baseball diamonds in the parks. Nobody complained about that. Nobody complained when the Forum was opened back in 1969. They didn't call that violence. When the Hollywood Racetrack opened in 57, nobody called that violence. It's just that when we come out of a decade of decay in the city, and we continue to deliver for the residents, that we hear words like this is violence to the community. I've never heard anything so ridiculous. Now let's talk about the reality. The reality is this, that if cities don't continue to incubate their economies, they'll come to a point when there's an emergency like we have right now, the pandemic. Let me tell you what's happening as a result of the pandemic. The city of Los Angeles has to figure out how they're going to come up with $625 million by June. The city of Santa Monica has already laid off 400 employees, and they still have to lay off who knows how many more. The city of Inglewood has not laid off one person, because all this time, we attracted economic development for the city. So it's easy to sit there and say what you shouldn't do. It would be much better if you talked about what we should do. And I'll tell you what we should do. We should maintain an economy that provides sufficient revenues so that we can provide recreation for our children, so that we can provide increased public safety for our residents, so that we can fix these roadways and sidewalks as we have over the last 6 years at a pace and volume that exceeds any that was done in the last 30 years. That's what we owe people. We don't owe people to sit and wring our hands and say, oh, well, you know, it's too bad we don't have anything, and so you have to ride Century Boulevard until it actually crumbles to dust, because we had sinkholes every 90 days on Century when I came here. This city has improved massively because of the courageous decisions of the people that sit here, the competence of the city manager, the competence of our department heads, and the dedication of our employees. There is no accident that we have attracted 3 professional sports franchises in a 2.5-year period. People don't invest billions of dollars in a place they don't think has their act together. 7,000 people, I thought you said, are expected to be employed in a number of construction jobs for this arena. 7,000 people coming out of the COVID pandemic that has skyrocketed unemployment in this country. We always insist on 35%, between 30 and 35% local hire for all of our major projects. But the point that I'm making is you can either make excuses or you can be about your business. And I would much rather be in this position where people are criticizing us for being about our business than I would to sit here and make excuses of why we are situated just like so many other cities. So I kind of support this.
Mayor, I move adoption of resolutions of necessity.
Second.
Madam Secretary, Madam Clerk, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Council members Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. Okay, then I guess we're done with that. Consent calendar, items 2 and 3.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. And you have to forgive me, I sit on Metro boards and it's the secretary there, so I lose track.
It's okay, Mayor,
All
it's
right.
okay.
SPH 1.
Staff report requesting that a public hearing be set to consider adoption of a resolution declaring the city's intention to grant a franchise to Golden State Water Company pursuant to Public Utilities Code 6201 at SEQ.
Move adoption. Moving to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. Set the public hearing for March 9th, 2021 at 2 p.m. A1,
No reports from the city attorney's office.
CM1,
Thank you, Mayor. No oral reports from the city manager's office.
CI1,
Initiative by Mayor James T. Buds Jr. in conjunction with the Inglewood Police Department recommending adoption of a resolution offering a reward up to $25,000 for any individual or individuals who provides information leading to the identification, apprehension, and conviction of the person or persons responsible for the death of Andrew Summerfield.
I put this forward. Every loss of life is a tragedy. Every loss of life leaves a family without a loved one. We've had 2 homicides so far year-to-date in Inglewood, and Andrew Summerfield was one of them. So far in the city of Los Angeles, there have been 30. In Compton, there have been 25 in 12 days. This young man was a college student. He was a scholar athlete, and I feel that this reward, in conjunction with the outpouring of grief from the community, may help us get information that will help us more quickly solve this crime. This has been a top priority for the City and Inglewood Police Department, and the reduction of violence has been first and foremost goal of this council all the years I've been here. We've cut the homicide rate in half in this city. In 2019, we had 2 murders, less than Santa Monica, Pasadena, or Torrance, but we never stop pushing. I want to thank the police department, its leadership, its chief. They've done an outstanding job, and we'll continue on. I've spoken to the father, expressed our sorrow for them, and we will push on with the resolution of this crime. Is there a motion?
Move to adopt.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. Appointments to boards and commissions. There are no appointments right now. Public comment. Any person who wishes to address City Council on any matter connected with city business not elsewhere considered may do so at this time. It's 1 minute. Operator.
Going to the first caller. Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Operator, what we're going to do is we're going to give them 10 seconds, and if no one comes on in 10 seconds, let's go on to the next caller.
Okay. Next caller. Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead, we can hear you, caller.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Mayor Buds, my name is Matthew Moore. I'm the uncle of Andrew Summerfield. I just want to say thank you to you and the City Council for passing the resolution for the reward. Much appreciated. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Next caller. Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
This is Ms. Kraft. Mayor Butts, you were talking about what you owe people and criticizing you about your business. Well, I believe I've been assessed 3 times for the streets, sidewalks, and the trees, which have not been done in the 11 years that I've been here. In addition, you're missing the point and still not hearing us because leadership has been condescending, patronizing, publicly ridicule and humiliate, and apparently retaliating against citizens and deflecting and not focusing on what was the specific underlying issues and not giving info in timely and complete and professional manners. Mayor Butts and Councilman Padilla have still not responded to phone calls, emails, requests for meetings, and you said publicly in a December meeting that you were ignoring me. So all you said in this whole meeting is not even true. Now, you've been holding up permits for years, which I need to take care of safety and health issues, and during the holidays and during the COVID-19. In addition, there are other safety and health issues that are personal safety and health issues and violence against me. You guys have not given us 3 minutes for each and every item, not just 3 minutes on all the agenda. The feedback is with your equipment on each call, and you're giving away the opportunity zone in the Clippers thing, which is going to be a parking structure. So I appreciate what you're trying to say to us, but it does not ring true, and that's what people are trying to tell you. Transparency, be a public servant, be responsive, and take care of us. Actually take care of the city. And don't just think that we should just accept whatever you say. We need to make the decision. We're paying for it in a variety of ways.
Thank you, Ms. Kraft. Operator, any other callers?
Yes, on to the next caller. Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Is this public comments for Alex Padilla and Alex Padilla only for now? Don't you assume that I come into these meetings uneducated and unaware of what y'all are talking about? Of course I know what you're talking about. One of the things that was brought up in the support for city youth and education was youth innovation and design camps. The developer will contribute a minimum of $500,000 to develop, infrastructure to develop youth. But where is it going to go? There's no room. Why not do it now when there is actually room, when there's vacant lots, when there's property that hasn't been used? Why wait for a billion-dollar corporation to come into now? And if they do come and they build a stadium, where are you going to build these infrastructures for the youth? Also, it's very vague when you're talking about keeping city students in school, and the developer is going to contribute around $3 million for doing that. How is that going? What is he going to do? What projects are going to be implemented? What initiatives are going to be made to keep students in school? How is $3 million going to keep students in school? These talking points are rather vague. That's why I bring these issues up. These talking points don't say anything. They're just talk. There's no action.
Thank you,
and
sir.
When I say these things,
Operator, let's go on to the next caller. Thank you, sir.
Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
I feel like there was a lot of contradictory statements earlier, but I just wanted to emphasize something that I've spoken on in the past about these meetings being at 2 p.m. and how it's not convenient or accessible for working class folks or, it just doesn't make sense. Like I've mentioned before, it doesn't make sense to have this meeting at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Most people are at work, and you've used the excuse before, they can just step out of work and call in. People don't have that privilege to do that. And earlier today, right, there was the whole issue with people's lines cutting off and, people's hands being raised and not being able to get through. Like I said, it's contradictory to say the public is given ample opportunities for to give input. And I just wanted to speak on that again about moving these meetings to a later time. Thank you.
Thank you. Operator, next caller.
Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Good evening. Well, good afternoon, Mayor Butts and City Council. I just wanted to start off, Mayor Butts, specifically and just say thank you and extend gratitude. This is Mecca's Heart, and I called you on January 6th in order to seek justice for my cousin Andrew Summerfield, and I'm so thankful that you have moved and the council has moved to support us in the $25,000 because we do believe that will push forward with just getting justice for Andrew. It's been 21 days, and on February 19th, he will be 21. And so we are just thankful for all efforts, and you have followed through on every single item, every single thing that you said that you would do to help support us, including making this a priority with the Inglewood police. So thank you.
You're very welcome, ma'am. Operator, next caller.
Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Yes, I understand all this stuff sounds good, but like I said, I've been, around Inglewood since, First Apostolic Church back in the day, Mayor Butts. I believe I have a strong relationship with all of y'all. So I brought some stuff to Mayor's attention, and he did nothing about it. And I tried to stop some corruption on Centinela for a corrupted manager illegally got me locked out and arrested. And I reached out to Padilla when he was on vacation. I let Mayor Butts know about what was going down with the illegal weed shop. He did nothing about it. So we can't trust Mayor Butt. You know, we can't trust Padilla. We can't trust Eloy. And, you know, Dotson is a decent man. I can't put it past him. You know, he did his job for the time that he had, I guess. But, Mayor Butt, you need to stop,
You forgot about Dion? Wait a minute, what about Dion?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Sorry about that. You know, from Inglewood Unified School, she did a great job. You know, I think she's going to do extremely well. I can't say nothing bad about her because she just now got in the seat. But Mayor Butts, come on, let's get this thing together. You know, my team will be filing finally against the city of Inglewood and the police department. But one day, you know, you and the chief is going to really show your colors. You're talking about this is somebody that y'all know. You allow something to happen. But that's why people don't put their neck out there for this city.
Okay.
You know, and that's
Operator,
what I got myself.
That's gonna be time. I'm gonna start doing this. That means you have 10 seconds. All right. Operator, any next caller?
No further callers in the queue.
I wanted to do this. All right. Okay. So with that, it's fault for mayor. All right.
One call actually just came in if you have time.
Okay.
All right.
This.
Caller, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Mayor Butts, this is Gil. And I was waiting, missed me, but, you know, I was waiting for you to finish talking.
Okay.
All right. And I understand what you're saying. And I've been around Inglewood a long time. And I know Butts as Jimmy. And the thing is, Jimmy went to Morningside. And he won't say that. And I'm interested in why, because I have, right now, I've been in Inglewood over.
I went to Crenshaw, but go ahead.
No, you graduated from Crenshaw. Now, let me refresh you. Did you attend Inglewood?
No.
No. Did you attend Morningside?
No.
You never attended Morningside?
No. I wish I had, though. You're making me miss it.
No, well, I know you miss it because you went there. You used to walk up the hill right on 104th Street, and you were living on 8th Avenue around the corner from me.
Okay, look, there's another James Butts that was a triple jumper at UC.
No, hell no. Anyway, Jimmy, you're in a position where nobody trusts any mayor of Inglewood.
Oh, man.
And if you look on the back of the dollar bill, it say, "In God we trust." Okay, so all we can do, you're in a heck of a position. I've been here since they had an old mayor.
Go.
Huh?
10 seconds. When you hear this, 10 seconds.
Okay, well, I trust you. But, you know, politics in Inglewood is a B.
Okay, with that.
And that's the way it is.
Operator,
It's always
this comment. Operator. Okay, with that, we'll close public comment, and we'll go to council remarks. Councilman Dodson, District 1.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is not on my deal to talk about, but I don't understand what this city wants out of a mayor.
Well, it ain't a city, it's a few people.
50+ years. I've sat through 4 mayors, worked for 3 of them as a council person, not as a council, but as a commissioner. I saw it from the inside out. I know what goes on up here. Mayor Butts is the one person that comes, he's here every day. Every day. The man is working for you. He's not working for himself. You don't need this job. He comes here to go to work for you. And if you look at Inglewood before he came here. You don't have to take it, just look at where we were before he came here. And look where we are now. Anybody with common sense would tell you this man is working. So don't believe all that crap you hear on this TV. Mayor Butts has been the best one I've seen here in Inglewood, and I've been here for 50 years. Okay, shredding event. We have received many calls about our shredding event. Sorry for having to cancel the shredding event on February the 20th. We are trying to reschedule another date as soon as it would be safe to do so. Please be patient. This will give you more time to get your papers together. And once we get a schedule, we will get it out to you. Thank you very much. Mayor Butts, I'd like to ask you to close this meeting in the name of Tricia Crenshaw. I'm sad to announce that the passing of Commissioner Tricia Crenshaw on Saturday, June 23rd, 2020.
COVID-19.
She was a dear friend to my family and the city of Inglewood. So if you please close the meeting in her name, I'd appreciate it. Please remember to wear your mask, wash your hands, state your distance, and have a safe rest of your week.
Councilman Padilla.
Thank you, Mayor. Man, I'm so sorry to hear about Tricia Crenshaw. My goodness. This COVID, no joke.
Nope.
So, you know, just kind of keep it brief. Folks, when we do these public hearings, all of these staff reports are posted. Legally, they have to be posted. So they're posted. Get on the website, do your due diligence, and read the staff report. And as always, and we've said this time and time again, you don't have to wait until a council meeting. If you have a question of your local representative, your local council person, please reach out. You don't have to wait till Tuesday at 2. You can give us a call or send us an email, and we're all really responsive. The other thing is, when you call in, do yourself a favor and do us a favor. It helps us. Call in from a hard line, from a landline. That'll help with the clarity, because when you call from a cell phone, sometimes, you know, the call drops or there's interference. So if you have the opportunity, call from a landline. And that's it for me. And again, my thoughts and prayers to Ms. Crenshaw's family. May she rest in eternal peace.
Councilmember Falk.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to quickly piggyback on what Councilman Dodson said. I also agree that you have been a wonderful mayor. My home was underwater, lost all the equity. I bought it at, I think, a little over $500,000, and it went all the way down to about $200,000, and it was like that for a long time. And since Inglewood has turned around with your leadership, with all of the council members here, my home is more than almost doubled, really, in value. And so I just, and I've seen great, wonderful things happening in Inglewood. So I'm just really honored to live in this city. I'm blessed to be a part of the city council, and I look forward to continuing on to the great productivity of the city. And real quickly, I want to announce that we're gonna have, in my district, Crenshaw Imperial Plaza is offering a drive-in movie event for families to bring their kids out. It's happening this Friday, January 29th, starting at 5:30. The only thing that might be a hiccup is if it does start to rain. But if not, I'd like to invite the families out to have the kids wind down from all their distance learning and come out and have some fun on Friday evening. Also, I'm getting out in District 4. I did visit the Girl Cave one of my small businesses. They are located right here on Crenshaw Boulevard. And it was wonderful to be able to support the business. It's a beauty supply. We got out there on Saturday. I was able to spend some money and shop and talk to the business owner. Her name is Leah Diaz. And so she's been struggling like a lot of other small businesses. So just happy to get out in my community and start supporting small businesses. I'd like to thank Mayor for his leadership in making sure that we do offer the $25,000 reward for the capture of Andrew Summerfield's murderers. Thank you for that, and I know that we will capture them pretty soon. And so I'd like to thank you for your leadership in that. Lastly, I'd like to close in honor of the Richardson family. They lost their aunt, Renee Hendricks, recently. And so we'd like to, on behalf of the City Council, we'd like to extend our condolences to that family. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilor Morales, B, could you come in for a minute?
Thank you. Just briefly, in regards to the loss for the Summerfield family, I just want to say that we all received phone calls, and our heart goes out to you all. We all received our emails. Sometimes it allows us the ability to work through the mayor so that there is no confusion as to what we want to do for the family. I hope that, you know, our small gesture today shows our commitment to our continued support of the families of Inglewood. We couldn't imagine the pain that you're going through it, and we wish you that this is a small piece showing our support for the family. So with that, Mayor, I don't have much left for today. I just want to say thank you, and that's it.
Okay, I want to add to the list the aunt of our city clerk, Verda Hawkins. And we're enclosing her name in the name of Trish Crenshaw. And I have to tell you that she and Willie A.G. just two of the best people I've ever met. Both of them treated me like a son ever since I've been here. Always had an uplifting word through everything. And I just want to tell you, we're going to miss Tricia, miss Willie. They both passed from COVID. They both had to pass alone. And it's the saddest thing I can think of. So we'll close in the name of Verda Hawkins, Trish Crenshaw. There was one more. What's that?
What's that?
Oh, and the Richardson family. And we're adjourned.